These birds, they simply sing and they fly. Here in this particular land of a parrot, we do not find any man. So no man, nor human voice, and nor human walk. The place is on the sea with a green hills and waterfalls. It is an imaginary world full of trees, birds, waterfalls and sea waves. From the world of nature, that means the parrot's island, that is island, and we return to the solitary world of Amal's confinement to bed. Amal's health deteriorates further. The village doctor strictly orders to close all the doors and windows. Then the state physician arrives and he orders to open all the doors and windows. He asks Amal, how does he feel? And Amal replies, I would like to quote from the text, all pain is gone. I can see all the stars now twinkling from the other stars of the dark. Unquote. Amal wants to offer the king puffed rice, and then he sleeps. Here the sleep means a kind of a death. So he dies very peacefully. Sudha comes at the end of the play and tells the physician when he will awake to tell him. I quote from the text, Sudha has not forgotten him, unquote. With this, the play ends. Here we find the story that is presented by Rabindranath Tagore in a very lucid manner. Along with the story, the Post Office is a play that presents theme of love and death in a very symbolic manner. The theme of love continues to dominate the play Post Office right from the beginning to the end. If we look at the play, the very first speech of Madhav strikes the keynote of love. It is the first dialogue of the play that Madhav utters. I would like to quote from the text. What a state I am in. Before he came, nothing mattered. I felt so free. But now that he has come, goodness knows from where, my heart filled with his dear self, and my home will be no home to me when he leaves. Unquote. Through the theme of love, Tagore wants to convey that love plays an important part in man's life. Love establishes a new relationship of Amal with other characters. Love transforms people into a better human beings. Madhav gives importance to money. But after adopting Amal, he makes money for the dear boy Amal, and he would like to confess it to his friend. I would like to quote it from the text. I quote, "And earning becomes a joy to me." Now, the change that we find in the character of Madhav is a love that is shared by Madhav with Amal. And it is the first transformation that we see into the character of Madhav. For the dairyman, selling curds becomes a joy, and he learnt from Amal. I would like to quote it from the text. "How to be happy selling curds." Unquote. Amal is in love with his life and the living universe. He likes to talk with strangers. Every moment of his life is very significant to him. He establishes contact with each character with love and affection. Amal also possesses high sense of imagination. With the help of imagination, Amal establishes a close relationship with the parrot's island, and the journey of the king's postman to his village. The physician and the headman are the representatives of the book learning and the power. Love binds all the characters together. The dairyman leaves the curds pot at the house of Amal while he was busy with his niece's wedding in the village, and he was also busy to order a band at Kamlipara, that is a village where the curdman lives. So here we find the love that the dairyman develops for Amal, that we find in this gesture of putting the curd pot at the house of Amal. Another character, that is even Sudha, returns with a flower and a message that she has not forgotten him. Another important theme is of death. The play begins with Amal is confined to bed on the brink of death. The play ends with his actual death. Madhav, the physician, and Gafar all are concerned for Amal's approaching death. Amal is unaware of his death. He is interested in living the life, and death comes to him as a natural course. Here Tagore wants to approach death not as a bad thing of life, but it is a liberation of bondage to the unity of the soul. Here we can remind passages of Gitanjali which show death is a journey to the other shore. It is giving on set up at last into God's hands. So here Tagore would like to interpret death in other work also into a different manner, and It is seeing God's face and offering Him one's silent salutation. So here we find that for Tagore, death is not just a thing that is full of horror and to be afraid, but it's a kind of a natural course. Tagore, through the death of Amal, wants to show that it is that death is not a matter of loss. Death is not an awful thing, but it is a matter of joy, triumph, and peace. Now Tagore has used symbols in the play to make his play more powerful, to more effective. The post office is a symbolic drama. Tagore has used various symbols in the play. The first symbol in the play is the closed room where Amal is confined to bed. The closed room represents man-made artificial atmosphere. It does not allow Amal to enjoy the outside beauties of the nature. Amal yearns to go out of the closed room. He represents man's yearnings to go out of the man-made artificial world and to enjoy the beauties of the nature. Madhav is a symbol of the practical, worldly man. He is concerned with money, profit, and loss. When Amal asks the king to become his postman, Madhav becomes unhappy. He wished that Amal should ask for gold to the king. The post office is a symbol of the universe. Amal represents the soul of man. The king stands for God. The word Amal means pure. It indicates the purity of the soul. The soul desires to get freedom from the bondage of the body. It wants to merge into the absolute God, from where it has come. Sudha represents love. Even love stands in the way of the soul's progress. That is, Amal, the soul, leaves the body, and Sudha, that means love, remains absent. The postman represents 6 seasons. Nature. Nature pervades throughout the play through symbols like trees, birds, Parrot's Island, waterfalls, Panchmura Hills, Shamli River, top hills, green fields, cattle, and stream. Tagore, through the symbol of nature, presents nature as the best means of spiritual progress. Life in nature elevates and purifies the soul. Amal wants to see the Panchmura hills, the Shamli river, the dense forest, and island of the parrots. Through the world of nature, Amal unites himself with the king. The royal physician breaks the gates, opens all the doors and windows. Amal sleeps forever and his death is symbolic. I would like to quote it from the text. Directly the king comes and calls him. Unquote. Significance of the title. The post office is a very brief and a very significant title. The play has a very deep and inner meaning. The post office is a symbol. It conveys the inner meaning. It is a symbol that represents the universe. God sends messages through such place to all places. The postmen are the messengers of God. They carry his spiritual message everywhere. The letter from the king is sent through the post office to different people. Amal is a central character in the play. He eagerly awaits the king's letter. It will come to him through the post office. We find many references of the letter, the messenger, and the post office in the second act of the play. The post office is a symbol. It represents God's place, and its postmen are the messengers of God. And these messengers are seasons. Two of them are identified as Badal and Sarat by the troop of boys. Now, the post office had been adapted into a film, and the film was made by the Children Film Society of India in 1996,